Today we're going to talk about the generation of compliance forms. As Chandra said, this is going to be recorded and put on YouTube, so don't worry about taking notes. And I think we have an introduction here from Chandra.
Yeah, so just a little bit about Intellias. We were established back in 1999. We started out as a partner providing auxiliary software products for Infor applications. And then we worked into an Infor Alliance partner, offering full consulting services, helping you with everything from, creating an IPA flow to full-scale implementations of Cloud Suite. We do still offer those softwares today. We have a couple listed here: Payroll Automation, which does exactly what it sounds like. It automates the payroll process, and it helps our customers take their payroll processing time from days to hours. So it's a really useful application. If you're interested in learning more, we can just reach out and we can give you that info. We also have expense management, and we are working on a couple of others. So keep your eyes peeled for those coming out. We will keep things posted on our LinkedIn. And if you ever have any questions, you can reach out to anyone here at Intellias to help.
Great. Thanks, Chandra. Make sure. There's still people jumping in, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. I just want to let you know about me. I have over 20 years, and we'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to say how many over 20, but of consulting services. I've been in the Lawson Infor space since I was a payroll administrator and implemented Lawson. I specialize in payroll. I've always been more of a payroll consultant, benefits and absence, that kind of area. I've done, tons of implementations over the years. And I remember when GHR came out, I was very hesitant, but I have fully embraced the HR talent modules and enjoy them and enjoy sharing them with you. So I live in New Hampshire, so I'm a little chilly today, not too bad, about 41 degrees. So I like to do a lot of hiking up here in the winter. I like to do a lot of baking to keep me warm. So that's a little bit about me, and thank you for joining us today. What we're going to talk about is the generation of compliance documentation. And what does that mean? I'll give you an overview. We'll talk about how to enable it. The two we're focusing on today: the enablement of W-2 processing, and so you can generate the forms and as well as print them. And then also for ACA processing, the 1095s, generating them. And what the generation means is making them available to the employees on employee self-service. So we'll look at all of that. I'm going to go off camera right now just so we don't get distracted with that. So let me turn that off. Okay, what does it mean? Infor in the October CU released new functionality that allows administrators to print W-2s. So it actually presents a formatted document that you can print with local printers, and for W-2s and for 1095s. You don't need a third-party vendor to print with this new functionality. The administrators can also send mass individual emails when the employees regarding this document, but it also makes them available in employee self-service or employee space. In that process, there is new functionality that allows the employee to enroll in paperless delivery for both documents. So you can say yes or no, I want them online, or I want them printed. It's an opt-in process, and I'll show you that functionality. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Keep hitting. So Infor is solving for the need for one system, right? It's been a struggle because you always have to have a third-party vendor to print stuff. But this allows W-2s and 1095s to be printed locally. Unfortunately, it does not include the ability to print paychecks. So you'll still need a vendor or a third-party solution to print paychecks. It was general availability in the October CU, which is a little close to the end of the year. So I'm not sure how many clients will be using that for this year for the W-2s and the 1095s. I think the expectation was to allow time to preview and test and make sure the functionality is what you need, and then have it ready for next year. I don't think anybody's trying to put it in this quick for the end of this year. But HR integration with IDM private space was the key to this. So now that we have the document management system and the security around it, it has opened up a lot more availability for this type of functionality. So I don't think this is the end of allowing other documents or functionality coming with employee space. So this new process is delivered for employee consent, and like I was talking about, and paperless delivery of the compliance forms. So what we'll look at is the enable and setup of the compliance form generation for W-2s and 1095s. I can show you how to generate the documents and how to send emails. You can do mass emails or individual emails from templates. And then we'll look at employee space on how the employee can enroll and unenroll in paperless delivery, and then we can view the compliance documentation. There is a mass printing, and then the review the compliance documentation delivery method report. So that's a neat report that's delivered. So it shows you who's enrolled in paperless delivery. All right. So what we'll look at first is how to enable the compliance form generation. There's some technical setup from the documentation side, from the IDM, but I'm going to focus on the functional. Obviously, you have to have payroll and benefits enabled. You have to have the forms generated for the year. So you go through your normal process when it comes to W-2 generation and 1095 generation. And then obviously the employee has to have the right security to view employee self-service or space. The first, from a high level, this is going to be, it was flagged. So as soon as the October CU was put in, this was automatically flagged as enabled. So in data maintenance, so in system administration, there's a data maintenance section, and it just validates. You just need to go validate that this was run, that there's a last run date in the initialize HR organization compliance form toggle. That's all. It should be run. It's just a safe check to make sure that it's already there. And what has been added is on the organization, on the configuration tab, there's been 2 new boxes put there for check marks, which is, do I want to use the compliance form for payroll and for benefits? So you just need to check mark those. That is the highest level. And then when it comes, we're going to look at W-2 processing. So I think payroll's used to looking at delivered content, but there's a new section for delivered content, and it's compliance document content. And then you just have to go and load this. Takes just a few minutes. There's not much to it. And then this is the part where you may need some tech support to get a printer set up within the system that is attached to IDM, the document management system. It's kind of like S3, where you used to have a special mapping for the printer. It's not going to use just your printer that you have on your local computer. You can't select that. You have to have it kind of connected to Infor behind the scenes. And I'm going to say that's above my pay grade, or out of my, that's a little more technical for me. But that has to be set up as a prerequisite to make sure you have an IDM printer connected to the Infor Cloud Suite. And the great thing is it actually delivers a lot of the templates, the employee templates for notifications. So it gives you all, so it populates these document templates or email templates to say, hey, you've done this, or you've enabled paperless delivery. This is what, so those are already written up and already formatted for you. And I can show you that here in a minute. So any reason you would want to send email notifications, they're already created. All right. So once you've done all your W-2 processing, you've done all your validation, you're ready to go and share them. They're finalized. The two things you have to have in order to see this new action, it's called Generate W-2 Forms, is it has to be in a submitted status and it has to have a file, right? You have to have a CSV file. Those are and then only then will a new action appear, and it's called Generate W-2 Forms. What does this do? This Generate W-2 Forms makes the forms available to employees in employee space. That's what generate means. And here's how you do it. You just have to have a compliance template, and that should be delivered with the CU as well. Once you do the delivered content, there is a compliance template that you use normally with the compliance form. So this is the 2023 W-2. And the option to upload additional templates if you have a different format. I have not seen that done. Usually it's out of the box, the one that's delivered by Infor at the end of every year. You do have the ability to inactivate templates, but if you know what year you're on, it's usually self-evident. And you can, for employee self-service, you can redact employee social security numbers. The thing you gotta be aware of is if an employee wants to have delivery of that on the employee self-service and you redact the social security number, they won't be able to use that. So you gotta be conscious of that. If they're going to be using that as their final delivery method and not using the printed version, then you don't want to redact. Okay. I'm going to jump into the system and show you some things right now. So I have already been in here. Let's see, go to right screen. So in payroll, where am I? I'm administration, year end, and then I've already generated my W-2, so I'm in the view year-end reports. I have one line item here that's submitted and has a CSV file. So if I want to send an email to everyone here, I can do that. I can send a mass email saying W-2s are ready and will be visible on your employee space. There's also a function here that says mass print employer documents, so you can do that from here as well. But if you double click in here and you look at the generated W-2s, now you can actually see a real W-2 formatted. So you could print them individually if you needed to. And you can send the mass email from here as well. You would pick from the email templates. These are the ones that are provided. Even have some candidates up here now as of October. And then you can have attachments if you want documentation sent to them as well. But that's a quick view of how you can view the generated W-2s. Let's see what other functions are up here. Okay, mass print. Okay. So I'm also going to go to administration, setup, and there's a new section here in the administration of payroll. It's called compliance documents. There's a configuration, and this configuration has an annual deadline. So this is the deadline for delivery method changes for employees. So you can say you have up to the last day of the year to do so. Here's the print settings. This is where you attach the document management printer as well. I just had to add a fake one. We're in my sandbox, so we couldn't get it all working in time, but this is something with IDM. It's very common to have a printer over on the finance side. They do a lot of printing with IDM, and it's the same thing, same process. Again, the document settings, you have a global setting for redact social security numbers as well, if you want to do that. And if you look at the other areas in the compliance documentation or document section, there's email automation. So you can attach the email templates when employees enable paperless delivery or disable paperless delivery, just as a notification. And as I said, Infor delivers all these templates, which is kind of nice. If you look in them, it has all the wording in there for you. It's great. You can obviously modify these if you want to and use a more customized one. Let's see, and compliance templates, these are the ones that are delivered by Infor when you do the year-end updates. So these are the templates that are used for the forms. So there is functionality to mass disable paperless delivery. If you need to do all corrections, or if you need to just go in and do it on a mass level, do that as well, so you don't have to go to the individuals. Right, let me double check on my PowerPoint. Okay. So I kind of showed you around the payroll a little bit. There is some other functionality. So you can do print only file for vendor. So that would generate a print file for the vendor. You can still have that functionality, but same status as long as it's submitted and with an CSV file, and it will only include the employees that have electronic delivery disabled. So it will generate a print file for only the employees that said, I want it printed. So when you click on the employee header in that section in the W-2s, reports, the view reports, you obviously have the ability to mass email I showed you. You can select the email template. Attachment is optional. I think we looked at this. We didn't really look at this, but when you're on the individual, I'm going to jump back out again. Reports, year-end, view year-end reports. I'm going to pick my right one, the one that's submitted. So I double click on it to get to the employee level. And then on the generate W-2s, this is where you can send an email to an individual person if you want to. And you can customize it, right? It can be a template or you can modify. Okay. This is where in the form printing, obviously we saw this on the year end, the generate W-2s, and then the electronic file. And then there is a new button there, or a new action. Let's go look at that. And it's mass print compliance documents. So if we go to administration, year end, it's at the very bottom, kind of hidden, mass print compliance documents. And this, you would need the printer, all documents, or by legal entity, you can choose. And you can choose what to print. And then include employees with paperless delivery enabled. This allows you to print them all, or just print the ones that have said, I want it printed. So that's the mass print. Okay. Just showed you this. And where does it go? Because I know sometimes they change it up and we got to make sure we go into the right place. But the report catalog under payroll regulatory, there is a year-end compliance document print status. And it will show you how it is, where, it's almost like watching the old job scheduler in S3. So you'll be able to see the documents being printed. Any questions? It's new, so I don't know if I'll know all the answers, but if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or put it in the Q&A. Chandra, you can just let me know. All right.
Yeah, I don't see any so far, but
okay, great. Thank you. So we'll look now at employee W-2s. Like I showed you this compliance information on the setup and how to set up the deadline for method changes. It even has an audit trail right there for you. All right, so let's go take a look. On the employee level, under pay, there is a new tab called tax documents. And this is what it looks like. So we have both of them, the wage tax, the W-2 at the top. So this is the, I've actually shared it, so we'll be able to look at that. But here is how to enable your preferences or change your preferences. So you just click on the update preferences and you can either enable or disable, and a date is along with it. Obviously, it populates with today's date. And there is a warning that disabling paperless delivery will result in a paper copy. So you will be able to, the employees will be able to select what they want. This is what it looks like when it's enabled. And this means it's enabled paperless delivery. And you can see down here for the 1095, it's disabled. But they always have the option to update as long as the date on the configuration it's within that date of configuration. Once it passes the date that you have selected on the setup, it will no longer enable or allow you to change it. So this button will not be enabled once it passes that date. So you can't change it after that. Okay, so that's how to enable or disable. All right, let's look at the W-2. So this is what it will present if the employee has enabled paperless delivery. Now there's two, it's kind of strange here, but if you click on one, so this one didn't, so click on this URL, it gives you a weird file, but if you click on this document, download, now it's being weird. Okay, yeah, there it is. Yeah, you have to click on it and download. So there's no instructions there, and there's two links. So you have to click on the paper and then download it, and then it will just download the employee W-2.
Niki, we do have a couple of questions if you want to take a
Okay,
couple.
sure.
All right. The first one, when did you say this is available to start using?
It's available now. It came out in the October CU. So you just have to enable it. There's in the beginning of this presentation, there was some enabling that you had to be done, but yeah, go ahead and start playing.
Great. Okay. Does this apply to 1095Cs as well?
Yes, I'll show you that here in a minute. I'll show you exact. Yep, you can do B's and C's.
All right. So stay tuned for just a moment. One more. Can we load previous year docs in IBM for employees to access?
Okay, that's I believe so. I haven't gotten into that. There has been added some functionality in private for IBM private space that allows you to upload documents en masse. I would go check. There is I think it came out in April. So with April CU, yes, that's allowed. I haven't dug into it yet, so I don't know how easy or complicated it is, but yes, that is available.
Is there a default setting for employees to be opted in or out of paperless?
The only one that I know of is, I see it. There is, and I just show, I think on the setup, maybe there is one to opt mass disable paperless delivery. So that's the only one I know of. So this action will disable wage paperless delivery, but I don't know of one that changes it back. But yes, I agree with the comment that yes, the IRS requires employees to specifically opt in. So I think that's why they don't have the availability to opt in, but you can disable it.
Does the opt-in and out cover all required federal regulations?
As far as I know, yes, I think Infor is compliant. Yes. Good questions. Thank you. And it's fairly new, so like I said, I may not have all the answers. Keep asking. That's great. All right. So we looked at, let me get this big again. We looked at the employee. Oh, this is another great one. There's a report available that you can go see who is enabled for paperless delivery. Of course, I only have a couple employees enabled, and you can see who is disabled for the online view. There's a couple of places.
Niki,
Yep.
really quick, we can see your preview screen there. Just whenever you go back to the full screen, we can see the big slide and the little one. So.
I don't see that. That's why I don't understand. I was doing it to me last time.
Yeah, it was working well before. I just want to make sure we can see everything. It's a little small.
Or even display settings. So slideshow. So you can see the preview here?
We can, yep.
I apologize. I don't know how because it's not doing it for me. So I don't.
No problem. We can keep cruising.
Yeah, this is as big as I can get it. So let me.
No problem.
All right. So in the reports, but also I'm going to see if I can find it. Administration year-end. Oh no, it's right there on the front. So right here, they've added that compliance documents delivery method. So you can see who's enabled and disabled. If you click on it, it'll bring you the employees. So it'll give you the count, and then you can look at the employees individually. It's just a visual of, let me see if I can do, oh yeah, so it just gives you a visual of the employees who are enabled and disabled. All right. So now we'll take a look at the ACA setup and processing. Do that. Okay, so there's also delivered content required for setup on the benefit side. It's under benefits. I say that it's under system administrator. So if you don't have access to that, you may need to get some tech support, but it's under utilities, delivered content, and there's a benefits tab there, and you have to enable or load the compliance document email templates as well as the content. That's it. It's just it just is enabled there. On the organization is where you actually flag whether to use it or not. I think we showed you that in the beginning. So the second step you have to do is actually attach the templates on the organization. So it just requires you to fill in what templates go with which document here. So that's over on benefits administration on the main tab. This is a new section here that they've added. Again, you have to connect the printer from the IDM to make sure you have an IDM printer set up, and you may need tech support for that. So here are the email templates that were created. I just love that they're all written out. You don't have to think about it. I think it's probably because of the compliance, right? That what needs to be communicated. So it's part of the compliance with the federal regulations. All right. So if you go over to benefits, I have a bunch of tabs open. Okay, benefits. So in ACA, and then you go to the resource print file. So this is, so it's not available until you have completed your entire ACA process. And then there's a new action up here called create print file. And it's very similar as to the payroll side. You just need to know the year. And this is where you can say whether it's the B or the C. And then include the headers, and then generate the compliance documents is the new button. So here you also have the opportunity to redact the employee social security numbers, and then you can select the print only file. This is, again, if people have enabled that you only want the people that have selected to have their forms printed. Oops. So this is I guess it may be, I don't know if this button's new, but it has more functionality because it has this generate ACA compliance documents on it. Okay. So on the approve tab, I guess that's the thing. So when you do that, when you select the generate ACA compliance documents, that is what is going to present it in employee space to the employees. It's that generate ACA compliance documents. What that is doing is generating them for the employees to see them in employee self-service. So you better make sure you're ready for that when you complete this action. So there's a new tab here. You can see this compliance documents. And this is where you can view them individually if you need to. This is what the 1095 will look like. You can print them individually if you want to. You can mass send email notification once you've generated them to let employees know that they're available. Okay. So resource print file compliance documents. There is an action here. Mass, there it is. I was looking up here. There is a place that says mass print documents. Let's look at this real quick. It tells you can select what record type, the printer. Like I said, you have to have the IDM printer connected, the year for what it's for, and then this is where you select include employees with paperless delivery method enabled. So if you have that off, it's only going to print for people that have selected they want it printed. So it's nice because it's all close by. It's all on the same function with the ACA. It's the same with the W-2. It's all there. It's just little buttons and extra actions. I think you can right click on here. Okay. There's different actions here. The one that I couldn't find here, you're supposed to be able to send an individual email. I don't see that action coming up here. Again, sorry, this functionality is fairly new, so I haven't been able to fully test it. There's the mass send, but I think you can. There's functionality documented that you can send it individually as well, but I don't see that here. Again, the form printing, you can kind of watch it happen. There's a in reporting, go to regulatory and benefits, and you can see this compliance document delivery report for benefits. That tells you who's enabled and who's not, like we saw on the other one. And then there's the health coverage compliant document print status, and it'll show you what the status is of the form printing, and then you'll be able to see everything there. So very similar on both sides for the W-2 and for the ACA files. They've pretty much mirrored the functionality. So once you have generated the ACA forms, you can, the employees, and sent the email saying, hey, they're out there. The employees can come out here and look at them. So same thing, there's 2 URLs. If I click that, it creates a weird .bin, but that's not the right one. So you have to make sure you click on the document, click download, and then it goes to your local download area so you can see it here. Any questions on ACA?
Right, for the employers who are taking the third option, posting a notice and having the associates and former associates contact the benefit team, so neither email or sending a printed form, what do those employers do to keep the record or form but send when it is requested?
Okay, employers who are taking the third option of posting a notice and having associates contact the benefit team. So that's if you, after the fact, or like to get it a second time, or is that the initial delivery? I guess that's where saying printed form. What do those employers do to keep the record of the form? That's initial, third option. Oh, I am not familiar with that. I apologize. Send form when requested. So I guess you would have to download the form and email it, but or have the employee opt in and have available for employee space. I'll have to look into that. I did not know that was a new third option for ACA. And I can, we can, if there's any information available, I will find it and I guess send it to everybody on this call.
All right, thank you, Niki. Oh, and that person said they'd send a link too.
Okay, great, thanks. Yeah, thank you. Can you see my full screen now? Does it look right?
It's still a little preview one.
I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah. I think we can see it well enough. It's
there you go.
Either that or if you want to go to that
better?
other one, it's there we go. That's it.
All right. I don't know why I have to keep selecting that. So as an overview, there is a lot of good information there out on Infor with the release training. They probably have a dozen different how-tos to get this set up, one kind of for each form. It's in a weird place. I would look under payroll or benefits, but it's actually in core HR and system administration, and you can search for 2025.10. That's how it's an easy way to find the release training. But again, look for core HR for that documentation. There's also, they put stuff on Infor Docs. So it is out there available in Infor Docs, kind of just a walkthrough of each one of the forms and how to set them up. So there is information out there. The Infor training is really detailed on how to do all the steps that I showed you today. All right. And that is everything. Another question, does Infor provide an option? Oops, and that went away. Oh. Okay, thank you for that. So, but the question before is, does Infor provide an option for former employees to access in a secure manner? Unfortunately, they would have to have an active employee self-service login, which you can keep for your termed employees, but it's not always recommended. That's a good question because potentially you could modify the employee _ST login for termed employees if you wanted to, but that would take some tech and security know-how just to, so if they logged in, they could just preview these two forms, but there is not anything delivered. And I see this electronic delivery information. Thank you very much for getting that in the chat for us.
Any other questions? And if you can't think of anything right now, Nikki, I'm sure, is about to say this too, but she's got our info pulled up on the screen here. You can follow up with her, or when we send out the link to this replay, feel free to follow up that way and we can get you connected however we need to.
Yes, I'm excited for this functionality. We've been waiting for a long time. You know, as the year goes along, we'll be doing a lot more testing and making sure everything works. But it looks great. It's easy, and it's something we've been waiting for a long time. So, thanks for joining us today. And like Chandra said, if you have any additional questions or think of anything, let us know.